So I look disheveled as hell, but I've been thinking, and I need to get this off my chest. So I recently finally watched John Wick, which is an action movie that came out last year and received a lot of attention for being just a really good movie, a really good action movie specifically. And it's about a guy named John Wick who's an ex-assassin who has been trying to sort of just live a normal life since he retired, and then his wife dies and he's left with just a dog. His wife, as part of her will, leaves him this puppy so that he at least has someone, and he's trying to move on. Then suddenly some thugs, who are the son of a mob boss they actually used to work for, break into his house, steal his car, and kill the dog. And of course, this is like his final straw. He's had enough, and he goes on this crazy revenge killing spree. It is very good. It is extremely beautifully shot. Has well-staged action. It is a good movie. I personally didn't think it was a great movie. I feel like a lot of people treat it like it is the great action movie of like this decade or this generation, or however you want to say it. And I don't really feel that way, like at all. And I've been trying to put my finger on what exactly it was that didn't really feel, that didn't quite click with me. That felt kind of, because it left me feeling kind of empty, and I was just trying to put my finger on what it is that made me feel that way, and I realized what it is that it's part of this growing trend in film recently. At least what I feel is a trend in film recently, of self-awareness, and I'm not talking about the kind of, just like Edgar Wright, or like Cabin in the Woods type of self-awareness, like that overt self-awareness. I just mean, films that feel like they're aware of the fact that they're films, and they're aware of the tropes that exist within themselves and in other films. And then... And Tarantino, I think, is guilty of propagating this at least for a while. You watch his movies, especially post Pulp Fiction and beyond, or especially post Jackie Brown. His films really feel like they are just every moment you're constantly aware of the fact that you're watching a movie. You never really lose yourself in the world. Whereas you contrast that with something like Mad Max Fury Road, which doesn't have any self-awareness whatsoever. It is completely contained, and it exists within itself, and it doesn't know that it's a movie. It doesn't feel like winking at the camera, acknowledging any tropes, or any of that kind of stuff. And that's really refreshing to me, because even though I do like self-awareness, and I do like a lot of films that have that kind of self-awareness, I love Reservoir Dogs, I love Pulp Fiction, I love Hot Fuzz, I love Cabin in the Woods, I love the first Avengers. But it feels like so many, especially geek movies nowadays, feel the need to do that. They feel the need to be self-aware. And I'm kind of getting tired of it, honestly. I feel like I miss just being able to lose myself in a cinematic world. And that's my problem with John Wick, is that it really does feel like that. It feels like it's stylish for the sake of being stylish. And that it's constantly aware of the fact that not only that it's a film, but it's a film that's specifically targeting itself at film geeks, with the way it lays out its shots and the way that it kind of calls attention to its own plot structure and the nature of its character as a boogeyman. And it's just kind of and it's it looks beautiful, and it is a very well constructed version of that sort of typical revenge story, but it just winds, at least to me, it just winds up feeling hollow. And especially when I contrast that with, and maybe, there might be a couple few people who think, really, you think John Wick is self-aware, but you don't think that's self-aware? The Raid 2, I don't think is self-aware. I don't think the Raid movies suffer from that at all. I think the Raid movies are very much feel like they are contained within themselves. They don't know that they're they don't know that they're movies. No one in that universe knows they're in a movie. It never feels like that once. It feels like you're in a world that really exists. It feels real. And it feels lived in. And that on top of the fact that it's beautifully choreographed and beautifully shot and all that stuff, to me that just makes it so much better. But that's just my take on it. I don't know if I got any crazy John Wick fans in my audience, but that's just my 2 cents. So, feel free to comment. How do you guys feel about John Wick? Do you think I'm full of shit? How do you feel about self-awareness in cinema as of late? Do you think there's too much of it? Do you think there's not enough of it? Do you not even know how I'm talking about? Yeah, just let me know what you think, and catch you later.